building the LEGO NASA Space Shuttle Discovery set today. 10283. This is a 2021 new release made up with 2,354 pieces and 0 minifigures. The set is made up with 2 main parts, which is the Space Shuttle and the Hubble Telescope. The first section we will build is the Hubble Telescope. This is only the small part of the build with 3 out of 16 steps. I'll build it now and then we can have a look at the details together. Let's building the Hubble Space Telescope part of the build. It's actually quite substantial in size, bigger than I expected. We've got an information plaque for the telescope, very simply structured and also very stable. It's not a print, it is a sticker applied on the plate. The telescope can be displayed on the stand, which is slanted on a very nice angle, yet very well balanced and stable. The body of the telescope is covered with the metallic silver pieces, so very shiny, apart from a few grey pieces such as the 1x2 slopes here, and strangely the printed brick at the bottom with the NASA logo on it. If you look on the edge, you can tell it is actually a light grey brick, but with a metallic print on top. I think it merges in relatively well anyway. A few more grey pieces at the bottom you can see here, but overall definitely very shiny. It's a very smooth cylinder it's achieved, mainly covered with these 2x4 slope bricks. Looking at this end of the telescope, looks like some sort of controlling handle here with a rubber wire, also silver metallic studs and a pearl grey 2x4 plate. We don't have any moving parts at this end though. The other end of the telescope has a lid which can protect the telescope from sunlight, just like the real thing. The 2 solar panels on either side of the telescope, made up with gold foil sheets. They can both be rotated and adjusted. The gold foil sheets are secured by the pearl gold flower studs, a very clever use of this piece. Also, we've got a communication antenna on the top and bottom of the telescope, which can both be adjusted. This is actually a very complete and substantial build on its own. I think it can almost be sold separately as its own little set. Now we're moving on to the next section of the build, which is the main build of this set, the Space Shuttle Discovery. That's going to be the next 13 steps of the build. Once I'm done, we can have a look at the details together. Let's This is our completed LEGO Space Shuttle Discovery. It's a very substantial build. You can see how big it is if I put both my hands near it. Firstly, as you can see, very smooth finish. We don't have any obvious or unpleasant gaps on the build. A very accurate representation of the actual space shuttle in my opinion. Let's start from the tail section of the space shuttle. We've got the speed brakes on the tail, which can be adjusted. The two parts next to the tail can also be adjusted. I'm guessing that's the engines of the space shuttle. We've got a bit of a moving feature on the tail too. These two flaps can be moved up and down by twisting the engine knob at the back. The tail just below the engine is also adjustable, which is also a moving feature. So if we push the tail in, there we go, our landing gear is deployed. The landing gear doesn't automatically reverse back by pulling back the tail flap. So we have to actually manually push all the wheels back in. There is, however, a justification for this feature, as the landing gear on the real thing is only designed to be used once too. Looking at all the patterns on the body of our space shuttle, most of the patterns are actually prints, including the United States USA flag towards the end of the space shuttle, the pattern on the cockpit windscreen, and the NASA Discovery United States prints on this side of the space shuttle. There are a few stickers used only, including the little NASA logo on both sides of the space shuttle Discovery, and also the Discovery sign on both sides of the cockpit that are also stickers. The lid of the cockpit can be removed. It is only slightly attached to the windscreen piece. This is a unique piece to this particular set. A new mold and a unique print on the windscreen. Looking at inside the cockpit, we can see a lot of prints on the back and the front dashboard. There are 4 little seats for the astronauts. It's very clear that this is not minifigure scaled. You can see how big the minifigure will look inside the cockpit. Taking the first layer of the cockpit off, we've got another layer under it with an extra astronaut seat. The patterns you can see here are all prints too. Another new piece used in this set are these quarter circle pieces on the top of the cockpit, something also worth mentioning. The payload bay can be opened. You can see the inside layer of the bay door is super shiny. However, these are all stickers. Given how many stickers are involved and the curved surface of the door, it's actually quite hard to apply them and make sure they're on as straight as possible. It does look very slick though. The payload bay doors are made up with 8 pieces of these curved connector panels, which is a new Lego piece made for this set. And I think they're perfect for making this very smooth cylinder shape. Looking at inside the payload bay, we don't have a huge amount of details. We've got 4 cameras altogether, 1, 2, 3, 4 inside the payload bay with the very shiny silver 1x1 tile, and it looks like an antenna inside. Other than that, we don't have a huge amount of details inside. We've got a rod here. That's more used to secure our telescope. So we have these gold foil solar panel pieces on each side of the telescope. However, there is an option to replace it with pearl gold rods, which represents the rolled up version of the solar panels. This will allow us to secure the telescope inside the payload bay. So we've made this stand on the last section of the build. This will allow us to stand the telescope inside the Space Shuttle Discovery. So all we need to do is slot the stand in and slot the telescope onto the stand, and this white rod can be used to secure it further. So this is one option to display it. There are a few more options to display this set. I think it looks really nice, kind of display them individually, given they do have their own description plaques and stands. Or we can display the Space Shuttle Discovery on the landing gear, or having the telescope attached to the Space Shuttle, which is the way we've set up now. As part of the build, we did make a display stand for the space shuttle, which is also slanted on a very nice angle, and a large information plaque, which is definitely a sticker on it. Here we go. This is what it looks like having them displayed individually. This is probably my preferred way of displaying this set. I think both items look complete enough to be displayed on its own. Overall, I think a really nice build. It was a lot of fun putting it together. It's a very smooth finish and definitely a very sophisticated looking set.